So what's up? Hello, fellow kids. Now I want to say to my Gen Z buddies out there, think about your plight a lot. I mean, in the world you're facing, and the shit sandwich you're given, and how nobody did anything to stop what's happening. I'm not like super pleased with the state of the world either. It's not like I'm like, hey, I got everything not like like the boomers pulling the ladder up behind me. I don't feel like that. You know, I genuinely feel like I got fucked a little bit too. But when I think about compared to what you guys get to what I got, I feel like I'm going to be perceived as some kind of like bourgeois, you know, landowning piece of shit that the pitchforks are coming for, because I essentially have at 42 years old a wife, a tiny house, and a bunch of old used cars, and that's my wealth. And I have a coffee can of boomer dimes from before 1964. And you would think, well, that's silly. You have a coffee can of dimes. That's not really wealth. Bro, it's worth like $16,000 because it's made out of real coins. It's not made out of crushed up fucking beer bottle caps and beer cans. It's made out of 90% silver. You guys all know this. It's just, I really realized this the other day when silver and gold started going insane. And looked at, me and my wife looked at what we had and weighed it out, and all the metals that we have, because every bit of savings that I ever got, that's where I put it. I didn't go fuck it off into boats and RVs and shit, or the stock market. I said, no, it's going in metals, and we're gonna fucking sit on it because they're fucking burning the whole economy down. You guys know. But anyway, I'm just thinking of it, and I was like, shit, that's more than almost all Americans have in savings. And what is it? It's a coffee can of dimes. Now, I have it because when we got some money, my wife and I consciously went out and bought junk silver, because we already knew that they're burning the whole fucker down, and the whole global lie is about how the money's not real. And I just really thought about that hard for a couple of days. I was, thinking the boomers are so out of touch with the when people talk about, why don't you guys just work harder and the bootstraps and drink out of the water hose and all that. But they don't, nobody, the younger kids never even saw real money before, never got to experience using it. I mean, neither did I. It's from before I was born, but I mean, like, it was still around, and your grandma would be like, look, I have all these coins, they're real, we kept them, but you're supposed to turn them in, but but never enough to mean anything, because back then silver was like, $6. Now that it's $75, a fucking quarter from back when the boomers would be like, getting a quarter and going to the store with it. You're buying like $15 worth of shit with it back then. And they don't get it. And the younger people now, they never had that explained to them, because if you do explain it to them, then it points out that, wait a minute, the whole global bullshit scam of us enforcing the petrodollar and them being able to grow the amount of money that they're throwing out into the game, even though they had a finite amount of gold. It's because it's just like the fucking gold confiscation in the 30s. I called my parents to tell them Merry Christmas yesterday, and within like 2 minutes, I'm talking about how the evilest thing a government's ever done, besides like the Holocausts and the Holodomor and all that, of all the different regimes, is that our government said, we're going to take all your fucking gold, we're going to give you $20 an ounce for it, and then we're going to immediately turn around and say, hey, we declare gold's now $30 an ounce. So in 1930s terms, bro, that's like the biggest theft of wealth in the history of the world. That was almost 100 years ago. And they've just been doing that more and doing that more. I want all the Gen Z guys to be able to buy a fucking whooped out used car. This car's a cool car. It's a 79 Firebird, but a boomer would say 79 is trash. You need a 69, because everything progressively got worse because of government regulations. This car has to comply with 1979 fucking emissions laws because of World War II and climate change. That's why the boomers got to buy a 69 Camaro for $3,000. And then in 2018, I get to buy a 79 Firebird for 7,250 that has like 120 horsepower, but the boomers were bombing around with 350 horsepower fucking dual plane intake manifold, dual carburetor fucking factory race cars, dude. Constant decline. Not trying to be a bummer. Merry Christmas, guys. I'm going to go in the house and hang out with the in-laws. Love you guys.